Hello YouTube! I'm back again to discuss our newest season of Total Drama Island, the Reboot, Season 2. What are we calling this? The newest season. That's that. This season picked up a year after Total Drama Island, the Reboot, Season 1. We have the same cast, but of course, it's a different season, so we got new stuff to talk about. I'll just hop right into it with the characters. And of course, first we have Chris McLean and Chef Hatchet, where I don't really have anything new to say about them because they were more of the same as they were in the first season of the reboot, which I very much liked. Nothing wrong. I said it before and I'll say it again. My view of Chris McLean tends to represent the season as a whole too. So while I do enjoy this fresh take we had on him in season 1, it's underwhelming to see the exact same thing again. Would I make significant changes? No, but why is this its own season? That's just kind of how I feel about it. The one difference in the hosting aspect of the show is we got some cameos from prior seasons. Owen came on as a guest judge this season. He hadn't aged up at all, still the same design, which tells me, okay, we can do an all-star season and mix up the characters from past generations and this generation, and it'll all be fine and dandy. I would love to see it. Owen's the only OG who showed up. Well, MacArthur. MacArthur made her cameos, which was kind of a thing in Total Dramarama, which I have seen a fair chunk of. I have not covered it, but it's funny. It's funny. I love that MacArthur is just like a running gag for Total Drama now, and every time she shows up, I'm cracking up. So yeah. There was also this one episode where, was it statues of the characters? We had Courtney and Duncan, and there was a little line like, oh, it was sad what happened to them. I also initially took this as, okay, they're alive. They did not go off into the bubbles into space. Yay, Courtney's alive. She's ready to compete for a new season. And I'm glad that they're not together. Look, they're a good couple, but you gotta grow. We gotta move on. But besides that, it really was more of the same. And positive, but the same. Now I'll go through the contestants in elimination order. Our first boot this season was Scary Girl. She came in trying to be normal girl, and that was creepier than her Scary Girl persona. Was I disappointed to see her go first? Yes. She's a very fun character. She also is a gag character though, so I see why it's just like, what new could you bring to the show? We already got our dose of you. I think it would have been fun to have her stick around a little longer. I was sad to see her go, but I wasn't like, okay, season over, Scary Girl's gone. Next out was Chase, and I was very glad to see Chase out early. He made a deep run last season. There's not much depth to Chase, and I don't really care to see any depth to him. Chase is a gross character by design. It works on the show, but like, what else can we do with it? So yeah. Just get him out of here. Very happy with that. After Chase, it was Millie booted. She went from 3rd place to 3rd out. Oh, tragic. I love Millie. She was my favorite character in the first season, and she had an interesting run here. She comes back and she had the year. Her and Priya were still close. Priya was training her on the show. But she wasn't really taking in the training. Millie's heart was not in it the way Priya was. Do I think Millie did not care about the show? No, but nobody's as dedicated as Priya is to it, you know? The real controversy with Millie happened in the 2nd episode challenge where she pushed Damien into a deadly fall. All for the sake of winning the challenge. It was a hard time to be a Millie fan when that happened. I thought it was funny. Honestly, I laughed. I was like, oh, girl. Honestly, I thought Millie was really funny this season. My favorite line of hers Yeah, to the finish line. Millie knew she messed up, and the episode later, she did apologize to Damien. They squashed it all out. I would have loved to see their dynamic play out a little more in the season, but nobody was willing to hear Millie out, or they couldn't really hear her out because of how the challenge went. And she just got booted right then and there. I understand she had a deep run, so I guess you can't complain about her getting out early this season. Would I have loved to see more from her? Yes. Do I think there's a lot more potential with her? Yes. But I understand why she went here. If we get another season with Millie, I would like to see her have a deeper run and see what she could do without Priya. The next boot was Emma. Now, when I saw Chase get the second boot, I was like, okay, is Emma gonna get to shine on her own this season? No, she's out 2 episodes later. Wah, wah. Emma didn't really have much going on this season until her boot episode when they totally throw her to the wolves and have her be so terrible at the challenge they have better success when they're doing the opposite of what Emma says. Am I particularly heartbroken to see Emma leave early? No. Do I think she had the best elimination? No. I think this was a bit of a disservice to Emma's character. I'm not gonna be writing hard, oh wow, Emma was robbed. I think there was more potential with her. I don't think they needed to explore it, but to just have her get totally humiliated this season and to again not really have much to do outside of Chase, it's unfortunate. The next boot of the season was Nichelle, and this is where I'd start to have problems. So Nichelle had a 3-episode run last season, and I thought it was entertaining. It made sense for her to go early with how they played it. She comes back this season and she was really working hard over the past year to get herself together. And she went from a challenge flop to the queen of every challenge this season. It was so fun watching Nichelle totally dominate. I'd say it was the highlight of these first few episodes for me. I was really happy to see. I was really hoping that we'd get a Nichelle deep run. And then we get to her boot episode, and at the start of the episode, we start to see her and Julia bickering again. And they've always had this dynamic. So I'm like, oh, are we setting up a Nichelle-Julia beef for the merge? And they're gonna be the protagonist and antagonist. No. They're gonna have Julia off-screen trick Nichelle into thinking she got another Hollywood contract, and Nichelle's gonna quit the game. So Nichelle, who spent a whole year training to try to build her reputation back, is just gonna quit the show without any confirmation of this contract. I guess it makes sense, and it's an ego thing, but it was very anticlimactic. Like, come on, this is how she's going? Really? There was just so much potential here. It was all so good. Everything I've seen from Nichelle is good. She just commands the attention when she's on screen, and just to take her out in this way, it's so disappointing. It makes sense. I'm not saying, wow, complete misunderstanding of the character. Like, I get it. She's pro-Hollywood. She wants to be an actress more than anything. If you get a big deal like that, sure, jump on it. But it was just so like, why? We have a second season here. Let's do it. Let's give Nichelle her time. Oh, if we get a season 3, I need to see Nichelle have a good run where she does not get embarrassed on the way out. She got embarrassed on the way out twice. Twice it happened to Nichelle. Poor Nichelle. I want so much for this character. Oh, the vision in my head as these episodes were airing, it was all so clear to me, and it didn't happen. Oh, Nichelle, I just want it. I want success for Nichelle. She's such a cool character. She's got the best design. Oh, Nichelle. Nichelle's exit was fair. They just didn't see the potential, but I saw the potential, and I was very devastated by it. I cannot deny that. But also, I have to get on them. Because why do we got 3 girls going in a row here? Come on, don't do this to the girls. Total Drama is a show that has always been dominated by the girls. And even this season was dominated by the girls. So, I gotta point it out. 4 girls, 5 boots. Just a little off. Then we finally arrive at the merge, and our merge boot is Bowie. Is it disappointing to see Bowie go so soon? Yes. He's a character you get very attached to in the first season. Bowie's season was the first season. So I get it. We're doing the Heather thing. We're fresh out of Total Drama Island. Heather had to get booted around mid-season in action. Bowie got a respectable placement here, but we gotta let other people shine. He had a strong pre-merge arc with the cheating and all of that. My issue comes is, did the other people shine? No, not really. So why didn't we just keep Bowie around and rerun the same thing? Because it was working. They could have used some of Bowie's charm to prop up these lesser characters that don't really stick out as much. I understand why Bowie did leave here, and I respect it. Other aspects of it are like, But yeah, Bowie was still a delight here, but it didn't add anything to his character really this season. It was just an outing to lower his threat level for a potential 3rd season. Next was the double boot, and I think I will first talk about Axel. Axel was an early boot in the first season, so this season she makes it about mid-season. If this is all they were going to do with Axel, they should have just given her the early boot again. I got more from Axel in the first season in her 2 episodes than I got in this season. In this season, she was still just a mean girl, but this time she was Ripper's love interest. She wasn't even Axel, the character who's dating Ripper. She was Ripper's love interest. She had nothing going on. Axel just truly felt like a wasted spot on the season. Why did we have her make the merge when we could have given a few more episodes to, say, Emma, or Nichelle, or Millie, or Scary Girl, 4 characters who I would love to see more of, and who would definitely make use of their screen time a little better. Maybe not Emma, but I think the other 3 really pop on screen. Like, I would have rather seen them. I never need to see Axel make the merge again. Unless Ripper is an early boot. Maybe we do something with Axel independent of Ripper. I hated this season for Axel. I think of all of the characters, I would rank her dead last of all of these reboot characters. And I hate that because in the first season, in her 2 episodes, she did pop for me. This season, no, I'm done. I never need to see her again. Axel is the one who got voted out, but Ripper followed her out. Ripper made the merge again. I can't. They tried to soften him up a bit. They tried to have Ripper be more redeemed this season. No, I saw your true colors in season 1. I did not forget. We ran the same shtick with Ripper this season, except he got a girlfriend this time. This was a waste of space. I was so relieved when we got this double boot and got these 2 out of here because they were both getting on my last nerve. I do not like Ripper. I will never like Ripper. I understand some people enjoy the comedic styling of Ripper, but why are we wasting a spot on him? You could have gotten this in 3 episodes and had them both out of here already. But no, they both made it to the merge over these other characters I'm craving more of. Craving more Nichelle. I want more Millie. I want more of all these characters. But no, we just drag these 2 to the merge and Ripper quits the game to follow Axel out. I'm so mad. Why? I was so relieved when the both of them left. Words can't describe. I was like, thank God, I don't have to watch them anymore. The next boot was Z, and Z was more of the same this season as he was last season. I still enjoyed his comedy. I didn't get anything new from him though. I personally enjoyed it. I enjoyed his screen time on this season, but again, What are we doing here? Why are we having Z do the exact same thing this season as he did last season? And why is he making it so much further than these other characters with such untapped potential? I don't want to be dwelling on the potential of everything. I want to be talking about what I'm given, but what I'm being given is more of the same from last season. So like, why did we do 2 seasons? Why did we do that? Why didn't we do new characters? It's not making sense to me. What are we doing? We're doing the same stuff over again. But we're doing a worse version of it, quite frankly. It's not as fun this time. It's not as fun when you've already seen the same tricks. So did I enjoy Z this season? Yeah. But I could have gotten the same stuff from Z that I got last season, and it was fresher last season. You see, at this point in time, I really felt like my time was being wasted with most of what was going on in the season. That's like nothing new, nothing changed. Same setting, same everything. It's not bad. The season's not bad. If they just switched the airing order of these 2 seasons, I'd enjoy this season plenty. Like, tweak a few things. Yeah, it would be a good time. But as a follow-up, no. No. The next boot was MK, and she is one of the shining characters of the season. She came back after getting booted by Julia, and instead of having a rivalry with Julia, her and Julia team up to cause maximum chaos for everybody on this season. And they are the delightful villainous lover duo. Like, the romance. We gotta talk MK Julia. Yes, this is a couple. Give it to me. Let's make it canon. Chemistry is there. Oh my god. The reason for the season. This is the reason for the season. The season was carried on the backs of MK and Julia. And if nothing else, I'm glad we got the season for that and that alone. Like, really, this is the best thing from this season. By far, nothing comes close. They spent the whole pre-merge cheating and challenges, and it was just so delicious. They even had like some double confessionals, the 2 of them. Oh yeah, it was fantastic. Every second that MK was on screen, I was entertained. She's one of the characters who went a little earlier in season 1, so you knew there was more here. She had to do more. And she got to really become a villain. She eventually got booted because of her association with Julia, and Julia got one over on her again, and it was very sweet. It just made MK like Julia more, like, oh, you're really good. Would it have been fresher to see MK as the villain of the season and Julia be the one to get booted here? Yeah. But for what it is, very pleased with MK this season. One of the best characters of all of these characters, hands down, and that's because of this season. So anything negative I say about this season, I have nothing but positives to say about MK. She gave us plot, she gave us drama, she gave us comedy, she gave us scheming, she gave us everything. She gave me all I wanted from her. Yes, MK, yes. The next boot was Damien. Last season, he was ready to quit the game. This season, he came ready to play. It felt like he was a pretty fresh character on this season because he just wasn't in it last season. This season, he was in it. He even made it to merge, found an idol. This merge cast, it has this thing where it's filled with complete idiots. Damien was the only character in this merge who I'd say was not a complete idiot. And for that, I loved Damien. They even started to cook up this rivalry between him and Julia, and I was enjoying it until we got to this boot episode where Julia stole the idol off screen and Damien just gets unceremoniously booted. Is Damien a character who I really wanted to see like win the season? I still kind of have a hard time with that considering he just wanted to quit last season. So I wouldn't say I was rooting for Damien to win. But did I want to see Damien at least outlast one of the hockey bros? Yeah. So I was disappointed to see him go. I think it was one of the more disappointing exits of the season. I don't think they made it as cool as it could have been. I wish they would have propped up his feud with Julia a bit more and really had it be Julia getting one over on him instead of just doing something off screen. Like, all this build up with Damien just kind of went down the drain. I wasn't like shocked though, because at this point in the season, I was just prepared to be disappointed by everything but MK and Julia. And that's pretty much what happened. So at least they met expectations. I feel like there's untapped potential here. I've said untapped potential about so many of these characters. Why didn't we do this in our second season? Oh, ah. Our next boot, 5th place, is Raj. And why is Raj here? Why? Why is Raj in 5th place specifically? Wayne is still in the game. We had a full season of these two hockey bros together. Last season, they both went out together. This season, they both stayed in the game together. I think they're a fun duo, but to have 2 of the final 5 be a duo who came in the game together, no. It lasted far too long. I wanted to see one of them without the other. When Raj got booted at this point, I was a little disappointed because I know more about Raj because he had his Bowie thing. Fantastic couple. They had their couple drama this season with the team sabotage and playing on that. But when we make it to Final 5 and then we have Wayne outlast Raj, I was like, what can we do with Wayne in 2 episodes? Raj gets booted, there's 2 episodes left. Like, it's not enough time to have them split up. Do I view Raj as the better of the 2? Yes. Undoubtedly, Raj leaves a better impression. Booting Raj over Wayne makes sense because Raj has shown to be a bit smarter. He's shown to be more competent. He's shown to be the better of the 2 in universe. So it makes sense for him to go here. But he either should have gone a few episodes earlier or he should have been the one to outlast Wayne. That's just how I feel. It made no sense to me why this played out the way it did. I couldn't even be relieved to see him go because at this point it was the 2 of them for the whole season. And honestly, I got really tired of the hockey bros. I really did. Like, it was played out. They gave me too much of a good thing. And in 4th place, we have Priya, last season's winner. She had a respectable run this time around, made it just short of the finale. This season was not as good of a season for her, which is to be expected if she didn't win the season again. I loved Priya last season. I thought her and Millie's dynamics were great. She came in the season still buddy-buddy with Millie, but of course Millie left early. I don't think Priya was as entertaining without Millie. I think they booted Millie early because they really wanted to pair off Priya with Caleb. I think Priya could have used some time to develop some other friendships before she got thrown into a romance, because then she just got stuck with all this romance drama and that consumed most of the season. I think Priya's gotten a lot of flack for taking up too much time this season, but she's not the only one. The hockey bros too, and then even Julia. It was just all more of the same. We already saw all this stuff in season 1. And then even with Caleb here as something to freshen it up, it was those 2 the whole season. That was their whole storyline, and they didn't really interact much with any of the other characters. So of course it got stale. They just felt like their own segmented thing. This whole season felt like little segmented bits the whole time. None of it really came together. I guess Priya was kind of feuding with Julia, and I guess it was fun. I like their feud, but it was more so focused on Caleb, since Caleb is the one who made the finale and not Priya. Honestly, if they were gonna have Priya do a deep run, I think they should have had her in the finale again instead of Caleb. When Priya got booted, I didn't really care. I wasn't really invested in the season by this point. So I was like, okay, bye Priya, I'll see you in the next episode because they're gonna bring everybody back for the finale anyway. I don't think this was a good season for Priya, and I think she would have benefited from still being paired off with Millie. If we're just gonna run the same thing, let's just go all in on what worked. And her dynamic with Millie is what worked. I don't like her and Caleb together. I don't think it works. Speaking of, we have our 3 finalists, and I'm gonna start with Caleb, who was our first boot in the first season. Of course, they did nothing with him in the first season. It was all just so they could have this new character, this wild card in the second season. I thought he might be a villain coming in, but he wasn't really a villain. They like played with him being manipulative and how him and Priya couldn't really trust each other, and then they had their relationship drama, which I didn't even care to go too deep into because it was just uninteresting to me, dragged out, blah. I was curious to see what would go down with Caleb. Now that I've seen it, I'm done. I do not care about Caleb. He is not that interesting to me. I guess it's interesting how they took a more soft, nice approach with Caleb and kind of had him be a scaredy cat. But the show's called Total Drama, and I don't like the drama he was bringing. The drama he was bringing was very cowardly. It's like, you're this big, strong man, but you're being a fool for this girl. Like, he was an idiot in favor of Julia. Did it work for Julia's benefit? Yeah, but it doesn't make me like Caleb very much. So when Caleb made the finale, I'm like, oh, there's no way you're winning. You are not likable enough to ever get a win. It was just too much on this relationship drama, and like no other character was allowed to be successful with it. Every character who made the merge this season, besides Bowie, who was the first merge boot, all of them were just a pawn in this Priya, Caleb, Julia drama. Nobody else mattered that much. Everybody else was an idiot. Everybody else was doing dumb stuff. And I guess there was also Damien, who they wasted. I wanted to see more than just this one central plot. And nobody else was giving me that. Everybody else was dumb. And even Caleb was dumb. Priya and Julia were like the only characters who made it deep in the game who had any sense about them. And it just made Caleb look like a fool. It would have been more respectable if Caleb just got the boot when the secret was revealed by Z. He would have had a much better exit on the season. I feel like I should be going so much more in depth with this Priya, Caleb, Julia drama, but I just don't care about it enough to really talk about it much, besides how much I don't care about it. That's all I've got to say on it. I just do not care about it at all. So moving on to our other losing finalists, we have Julia, who is undeniably the star of this season. Julia had a deep run last time, and I loved it. A standout character. This season, she came back, and any of the other characters who threatened to steal her spotlight, they were all booted early. So I was left with nobody to root for besides Julia. Julie's a force. She's the villain of the season. She was doing all of this strategy. I could not tell you what strategy she was doing because she was doing it off screen, but I appreciated the moments of her flexing on everybody about how much better than them she is. Would the season have been more compelling if they showed Julia going against formidable opponents and showing what moves she actually did to get one up on them? Yes, absolutely. But I was absolutely rooting for Julia the whole way. She's the villain, but she's the only one who was really chewing the scenery and giving me a show. So when we get to this finale and it's 2 duds versus Julia, I'm like, can we get a villain win here? But no, they give her the Heather treatment. She gets a mullet. She gets totally humiliated and she loses. Wah, wah. It was very disappointing. She got the most screen time. She was the star of the show. She's the character we know the best. Why don't we just give her the win? Why can't the villain get a win? Why can't we reward good strategy? Why can't we reward this good strategy that we were told about all season? Like, come on, at least make it worth my time here. But no, she didn't win. This was Julia's season. I wish they just gave her the win. I would feel a lot more positive about this season if our winner was Julia. I know giving a villain a win is controversial, but come on. Come on. The winner is not always the hero. Like, let's just do it. In my heart, Julia won the season. I already spoke about her dynamic with MK. Absolutely hands down the best. It was nice to see Julia have a friend. I feel like it kind of allowed us to see another side of her, how she does care in her own like evil, vindictive, villainous way, but like she does care about MK. Like her and MK are girls. They're girls in villainy. Her feud with Priya, it is fun, and they're just like both such powerhouses. They are the two faces of the reboot. I would argue Bowie's in the mix too, but it's Priya and it's Julia. These are the main characters. So their rivalry, it's pretty fun. I wish it wasn't so focused on the romantic drama. Like, we could have really done the showdown between the Clash of the Titans, but instead Caleb was here. So while I didn't care for the romance drama of it all, I still appreciated how much Julia and Priya just hated each other. Like, it was fun. I had a lot of fun with Julia. A lot of it did not make sense. A lot of it was telling instead of showing. There were a lot of flaws, but Julia is the reason for the season. Anytime I rewatch this season, it'll be to see what Julia was doing. MK too, but Julia. What a star. And last and least is our winner, Wayne, who is one of the hockey bros. I couldn't tell you much about him independently, besides he's one of the hockey bros. He's a nice guy. He didn't do any strategy at all this season. He didn't really have any ongoing storylines besides him and Raj goofing off. I guess at the start of the show, him and Raj were complaining about the sabotaging that their team was doing, but that was more Raj than Wayne. Wayne is a nothing character. This is like Owen winning, but worse. Because at least Owen was like involved in some of the strategy of the show. Wayne was just a sitting duck. He was just a number. He was just there along for the ride. Wayne is single-handedly the worst winner of this show. That's saying something because we have some really awful winners. Seeing Wayne get rewarded for nothing, I guess it's like nice guys do finish first and like we're doing the morality thing. I don't care. I don't care how moral we are. I'm watching a show called Total Drama because I want to see drama. I don't care if the nice guy wins. And we already did the nice guy winner with Owen. Like, we're just doing the old stuff and doing it worse. If you want to reward the nice guy, just bring Owen back on the season proper. He could have stolen Wayne's spot when he came to guest judge. And nothing would change about the season besides some of the comedic jokes. Like, we would have gotten more fat jokes than we would have gotten dumb jokes. Wayne is a winner, but I will always view Wayne as the less interesting of the two hockey bros. He had one singular episode of this show without Raj there. And in every episode he was there with Raj, Raj was always the better one. The more strategic one, the smarter one. Maybe Wayne was the funnier one at times, sure. But I think most of his best comedic bits were in the first season. That wraps up my thoughts on all the contestants. This season overall, I just don't know why we did this, how we did this. We could have just combined the two seasons and done a full 26 episodes. I just don't understand. I don't feel like anything new was brought to the table in the second season that we didn't get out of the first to justify doing 2 seasons of the same thing. I just don't get it. Am I glad it exists? Yes. Did I have fun watching it? Yes. But I'm just left baffled. Like, what were we doing here? There was no, like, greater purpose here. Like, I feel like I would just watch the first season and then just not bother with this season unless I had the time. Because, like, I've seen what I need to see in those 13 episodes. Like, I had my flaws with that first season, yeah, but, like, it was a full package. This was not a full package. This was like a jumbled up mess. This season would make more sense to me if I knew another season with these characters was coming. Like, okay, we're just doing like a transition season before the next big season comes that really pays off a lot of the stuff here. But we don't have that. The show's not canceled, but they haven't set out for another season yet. That's sad to me. I want more total drama, but I'm sure we'll get more total drama. It might be 10, 20 years from now, but good luck killing off total drama. It's got one of the biggest fan bases in the world, and I'm always gonna be a fan of total drama. I've been trying to wrap my head around how I would rank this season with the other seasons of the show, and I'm just really not sure. If I could rank it as a package deal with Reboot Season 1, and it would be higher in my rankings, I guess. If I paired it with the Reboot Season 1, it would not really drag down Season 1. But if I ranked it on its own, I'd be tempted to put it last, quite frankly, because as its own individual product, like, what are we doing here? If I pair it with Reboot Season 1, it's right below all the OG seasons in Redonkulous Race. But if I just leave it on its own, I think I probably would put it last. Because I don't know what to make of this season. I've just been sitting with it the past few days, and I'm just not sure how I feel. Maybe I need to rewatch it again to try to wrap my head around it. I don't know how to make sense of it. I really don't. I don't understand why the choices were made here that were made. I guess this wraps up my thoughts on all the total drama seasons, at least for now. If we get a new season, you'll hear from me. But this is not the end of me talking about total drama. I'd say this is just the beginning, quite frankly, because now I talked about all the seasons, there's so much more I can explore. There's so much I can go into depth about. I could even talk about some of the fan series. I don't know. That could be fun. But the opportunities are endless. I'm still a total drama fan. I might even go turn on the original Total Drama Island season and just start up my rewatch again, because I'm always rewatching this show. Maybe I'll even come on and talk about Total Drama-rama, but there will be more Total Drama discussion to be had. You can be sure of that. So until next time, bye!